Good evening, everyone. At this point, I'd like to open up the Baldwin Park City Council regular meeting. Today is November the 20th, 2019. The time is 7 o'clock. At this point, Madam City Clerk, Ms. Jean M. Ayala, will take roll call.
Marie's here.
Oh, Marie's here. Good.
Councilwoman Alejandra Avila,
She's present. Should be here with us.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
He's present, but he had to go upstairs for a minute.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco,
Present?
Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia,
Here.
and Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Present. Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam City Clerk. All right. So at this point, we do have one introduction that we have, introduction of a county manager. So I'll read that. What is the name of the person?
Oh, you have the bio? Shoin Wei.
Showing Way. Oh, come up to the podium there. We'll just.
He's our new accounting manager.
Thank you, Sean, for being here. Sean Nguyen. I'll read it. Ms. Sean Nguyen is a resident of the San Gabriel Valley for over 30 years. She is a graduate of Eastern Michigan, Michigan University, with a master's degree in international trade and a certified California municipal treasurer and certified government financial manager. For the past 24 years, she has worked in municipal government, including City of Beverly Hills. Wow, did you know Chief Snowden there?
That was over 15 years ago, so I do not know yet.
All righty. Pasadena, and most recently with the City of San Gabriel as the accounting manager. She enjoys working and keeping busy and looks forward to joining the City of Baldwin Park's team. She will contribute with her knowledge and experience to the City of Baldwin Park. She is grateful for the opportunity to serve the city and community. Thank you very much, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to
Absolutely.
join the team. And
Alrighty.
I will try my best to serve the city, to make the community better and better.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All righty. So we will now go into the open public communication. So at this point, I will now open up the. Oh, that's right. Do we have, Pastor Jackson or is not here, or Pastor, yeah, let's have, oh, Pastor Jackson is here. Come on up here. Pastor Jackson, if you could lead us by the invocation, we'll ask all those that are able to stand to please do so.
Heavenly Father, we come before you right now in the name of the Lord, giving you praise, glory, and honor, and thanksgiving. We are in a Thanksgiving season, and we thank you for Baldwin Park. We thank you, Lord, for the city council, the mayor, and all of those that are working together to make Baldwin Park what it is. We thank you, Father, for the police department and keeping them safe as they're out there in the streets, and the fire department, Father, as they are working, putting out fires and doing what they are doing. We thank you, Father, for the military, those that are abroad and even at home, and those that were wounded, and those that are trying to make it in this life, in a civilian life. We thank you for our school district, Lord, and all the children that are there. You keep our children safe, Lord God. Keep them off the gangs, keep them off the drugs. We thank you, Lord God, for the businesses, that you will open up doors in the businesses in the Baldwin Park, and keeping the Baldwin Park prosper with the business. And we give you thanks and glory for everything that you have done, everything that you're doing, and everything that you're going to do here in Baldwin Park. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this point, we will pledge allegiance to our flag. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And Commander, American Legion, thank you for being here this evening as well. On behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, happy belated Veterans Day as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come up, open up public communication. Yes.
Thank you for accepting us right now without being on the agenda. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm Rudy Avalar. I'm the commander for the American Legion here in Baldwin Park. This is Melissa Wagner. She is the president of the Baldwin Park American Legion Auxiliary.
Oh, thank you.
We're here to request for 10 turkeys from the city,
Okay.
if it's possible. And this is a program that Madam President heads, and she's going to explain a little bit about it.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you so much for this evening. What we do is we have 10 families that we'd like to donate boxes for. We go through our pantries, we go out and we provide Thanksgiving dinner for them and little extra sides. And so we go through and we use our funds that we have raised throughout the year to help benefit these families that are in need. And it's the turkeys that we're asking for today.
Okay, sounds good.
Now, these families are also vets and from the community.
I got someone that's got 14 turkeys. So we'll commit, I'll commit to taking those over there to you guys on behalf of the city council members.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Council.
Thank you.
And Chief.
All right. Yeah, oh, he's not here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everything you do as well.
Thank you.
Get his number, contact him.
Thank you. We're moving on with public communication. Good evening.
Your Honor, Council, my name is Kerry Ross.
That's right.
And I'd sent a letter off to the mayor, and copies are being distributed right now, as a matter of fact. I'll read as much of this as I can. The residents in my neighborhood in Kenmore and adjacent streets are facing an immediate crisis with wild coyotes in the yards wandering down the streets right before our eyes. At least one of them now comes into our yard, was coming in on a regular basis, going after our pet, has killed other animals on the block, and forcing us, even not allowing us to prevent our small dog out without being on a leash in the backyard. They have been seen in groups lately. You can read the rest of the letter. I'm not going to have time for all that, but we are hoping that the city can do something. It turns out that we've gone from department to department to department. Everyone has referred us to someone else. And it turns out the only one that can do anything about it is the LA County Agriculture Department. And when I contacted them, they said that Baldwin Park is one of the few cities that does not contract with them to trap and remove coyotes. So we are asking if you can please contract with them immediately or with someone to help in eliminating the coyotes from these residential areas. They've killed animals. They're going right by a school. There's even been school police involved, as you can see in the letter. And it has become a major concern. So they've made dens in some of the vacant properties. I've spoken with Mr. Yahtzee about this. And some of the residents that are responsible for those vacant lots have been notified once again to clean them up, but we need to clear them of the dens. One street over, they captured 9 coyotes, a private resident did. Wow. Captured and removed 9 of them. So this has become a major concern. I used to live in Santa Clarita. I was used to seeing them up in the hillsides, but not sitting down in the middle of a residential street. I even chased one down the street in my car. Didn't have the heart to hit it. And they run into the same area, into the same homes, or the same vacant lots. And the Code Enforcement Office Department is also aware of these properties as well. So I'm hoping that something can be done, and there are several of us here with this issue tonight, and we're hoping that something can be done immediately.
And we'll definitely follow up with that and contact the LA County Agriculture Department as well.
Thank you very much. When we contacted them, they said that you needed to be contracted with. That was what was holding it up.
We'll definitely work with them.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, sir. Hey, Rooney, what's up, bud?
Hello. My name's Kevin Rooney. I'm a resident. I'm just on the same subject. I don't know where he lives, but where I'm staying right now is right across the street from Getty School. And in the last month, I've cleaned up 7 cats killed by coyotes, including my sister's cat. And this morning, the school security for North Park cleaned up a little dog that a coyote got a hold of and killed. And it's getting ridiculous. They used to come out, because I'm a night person, they used to come out, I'd see them between 12 and like 3:30 in the morning. Now they're walking around boldly at 6 o'clock in the morning. And what's going to happen when one of them gets a hold of one of these little kids coming to school? Because it's not only, big kids walking around. There's little kids. They're taking them to preschool right there next to North Park. These coyotes are very dangerous. They don't care about boundaries. I saw one chasing after a guy who was walking his dog. So, something needs to be done before they kill a child. And if this isn't taken care of soon, then Baldwin Park's going to be in the news again for another negative thing, and that's something that we don't need. So I'm asking you to please, he was talking about contracting someone, do anything. We all know where the coyotes came from, the fire in the Santa Fe Dam, and they started up again in the Con Rock, right there on Olive Street by Azusa Canyon Road. So since they started work down there, they left there and they came from the Santa Fe Dam after the fires. So they don't got food, I understand that, but I don't want no little kids to die from this. So please do something about it soon. Thank you.
Absolutely, we're definitely going to. All right, thank you. At this point, we're moving on with public communication. Anyone wishing to speak? Can we move it over?
Hello, City Council, residents of Baldwin Park.
Good evening.
I got 2 items to show the public.
Sure.
This is number 1. This is Mr. Pacheco. He signed off over the city of Rialto to work over there for $189,592 per year or whatever. He hasn't worked there since May. That's what the article says, Mr. Pacheco. But he collected $135,000. He's a pretty good thief. He'll steal from Baldwin Park. He'll go over to Rialto, steal from them people, because they don't know who he is. So, Mr. Pacheco, I hope when you go to church, you pray very good for yourself, okay? Because most people can't do stuff like this, but you're a city council person. Oh, the big thing is you know the mayor, you know the lawyer, and you know the ex-police chief of Baldwin Park, Mr. Taylor. So they helped you get in pretty easy. So congratulations on your big thief. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a survey audit from the state of California showing the mayor and the young lady over here that very inefficient paperwork. You people asked the state to pay you guys, because not us, $595,507. The state only gave you guys $2,358,000. You know why? Because all the rest of that money, you guys can't account for it. So technically, the mayor should get fired for insufficient paperwork. But, I forgot. That's not his department, so it's okay. So this is the way you guys run your city. One guy stealing from other cities, the mayor stealing from everybody else and the state, which this audit says you don't get. Of course, Mr. Lawyer over here, he'll find a gap hole somewhere to get it, because you people will probably owe that money somewhere. When you threw me out of the meeting here a couple of weeks ago, I forgot to make the statement before I got thrown out. 3 minutes. I'm asking the governor of the state of California, he should give us our 5 minutes back. It's our constitutional right to speak for 5 minutes. You city council people took it away from us. That's a dictatorship. You don't have the right to tell us how long we can speak. 5 minutes, and you act like it's 150 years. Thanks a lot for being so corrupt. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. Appreciate it.
I can explain it.
All right, good evening.
Good evening. I need a translator, please.
She'll go ahead and type up everything and, at the end. But you're welcome.
Type up everything. Oh,
Then she'll go ahead and repeat, yeah. Thank you.
because she, you have to translate right, okay? Una de las cosas que le he dicho a usted, mayor, que el dinero que se debe de la casa de su papá a la ciudad, es todo lo que le he pedido. No he pedido que si usted está en el título o no está en el título, ¿ok? Esa es la primera cosa. Hace que son ya 4 años que se murió tu papá, ¿verdad? Algo así. Todavía no se paga ese dinero para atrás. Por ley tiene que irse en probation, en parole, en la casa, ¿verdad? Otra cosa que le dimos ahorita, el caso que le dije hace 2 semanas del abogado que lo están investigando por eso, ¿ok? Y luego también le dije del dinero que están ganando cada quien. Nomás le di la página de frente, no le di todas las páginas que tenemos. Ese estudio es del Estado. Usted todo el tiempo me dice que soy mentiroso. No, la cosa es que yo le doy lo que agarramos del Estado o del condado, ¿ok? Y usted voltea y quiere voltear todo, ¿ok? A mí no me importa que me llames mentiroso o lo que sea, pero debía mirarse usted y decir, ok, es cierto lo que me están diciendo. Todo lo que yo quiero es que sea con toda la gente. Entonces, una de las cosas es que a lo largo le llega y se van a colgar solitos. ¿Okay? Yo sé que ahorita están mirando que el rent control y que esto, que el otro, que está bien, pero acuérdense que el Estado ya puso sus reglas. Tenemos que irse por el guideline de ellos. Otra cosa, el parque de Walnut Creek desde agosto ya que ver abierto. Todavía no lo abren. El contratista que agarraron ustedes, pues, no sé si es amigo de ustedes o lo que sea, ¿verdad? No me importa. Pero el parque, la gente de la comunidad allí quiere saber cuándo se va a abrir. Lo van a abrir para el tiempo de hacer su fiesta allí, a la ciudad. Por eso es muchas cosas que...
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, at this point, Ms. Lulu?
Good afternoon. One thing that I have told you, Mayor, that the money that is owed from your father, I want to know if it's been repaid. I haven't asked you if you're on title. It's been 4 years since your father has passed. Is that correct? The case that I provided 2 weeks ago from the attorney that is being investigated, I also want an answer to that. I provided you with the money that is being provided to all the employees. This document is from the state. You always call me a liar, but this comes from the state. I always receive documents that are legal from the state or county. I don't care if you call me a liar, but all I want is that you be transparent with all the people. At the end of the day, you all will hang yourselves. You are looking at rent control, which is fine, but the state has already placed regulations which we should abide. Another topic is Walnut Creek Park is still closed and the community would like to know when it will open. Will you open it when you have the party?
All right. Thank you very much. At this point, moving along with public communication. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, community partners, and community members. My name is Catherine Lozier. I'm the manager of the Baldwin Park Library. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and promote 2 services that are free with the LA County Library. I know times can be a little hard around the holiday season. If your little ones, anybody under 21, has fines on their library cards, they can come into the library and $5 for every hour they can read away their fines. And if you're older than 21 and there is some reason why you weren't able to pay your library books or get your books back on time, my name is Catherine. I'm the manager. Stop in and see me. We want to make sure that you can check out. And then the second thing I'd like to promote is a collection called the Lucky Day Collection. I know sometimes it's hard to get into the library around the holiday season. This is a collection of popular ebooks. They're available immediately for 7 days. So if you're about to take a flight and you just need something to read while on the plane, you can check it out. You got 7 days to read it, and there's never any overdue charges for it. If you need any help downloading the Libby app or an ebook, stop in the library. I'm Catherine. I'll happily help you check them out.
Catherine, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, moving along with public communication. See no further interest, I now declare the public communication. Oh, okay. Good evening.
Good evening, Frank Ebner, and happy Thanksgiving early.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, so hope everybody's going to have a great Thanksgiving. You know, 2 weeks ago, I was driving to the city council meeting, and over here on Pacific, there was an accident, a hit pedestrian who was killed. A lot of police cars, and so we took a detour, go around.
That's right.
They were already starting an investigation, and you know, it's important that, you know, every life is sacred, even those that, you know, are hit by a car or they're undocumented or they're homeless. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. So there's a couple things that I would just like to say. You know, in sort of like the theme of Thanksgiving, and one of them's, well, one thing I'm thankful for is the gift of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all have that gift of life. I'm thankful for that my mother and father chose the gift of life. I'm thankful for my wife who chose the gift of life for my son, because in California, fathers have no standing. Mothers can abort their child, and fathers have absolutely nothing they can do. Absolutely no rights. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for my brothers and sisters who chose life and continue to support my developmentally disabled sister. She can't take care of herself, but that doesn't mean her life's any less precious or any less valuable than any one of ours. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the pregnancy help centers throughout Southern California who help mothers and fathers choose the gift of life for their children when they have difficult decisions, and they have financial, emotional, and medical assistance available through them. That Southern California Right to Life League does that in Duarte. They do it in Temple City, Ojai, Palmdale, Yucca Valley. I'm thankful for the sick and elderly who allow me to come into the convalescent homes each Sunday. They open their hearts, even if they're bedridden. And I would just suggest that, like 2 weeks ago when you made a resolution for affordable housing to help those that can't afford housing, even if they're working, that draw up a resolution to say you're in favor of life. Because at Planned Parenthood facility that's going in, there's not going to be any police officer doing an investigation like the hit and run. So think about that, and I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving early, and may the gift of life be always yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anyone else wishing to speak on our public communication? If not, I now declare the public communication closed. I want to first of all address the issue that Mr. Kerry Ross brought up, and so let's make certain that we work with him. Who am I giving this to? Public Works Director? Okay, or to our CEO Shannon. So let's see how we could contract out with the LA County Agriculture Department. It's important for us to look at that. Of course, I run at the Santa Fe Dam religiously on the weekends, and I run into coyotes most of the time, but up from afar, of course. And I do get visitors every other day at my house. On top of my roof, 2 raccoons. They come down the line on on Kennel Drive. So that's interesting, but they're okay. They just come and look for food. So we could do that. And also, we do have your number, I believe. Yes, we do. We have Mr. Kerry Ross's number, so make sure we stay in contact and keep the council members abreast on that. I want to also thank Catherine, the librarian. Thank you very much for being here, Catherine. So I look forward to being there, having had an opportunity to go by the library. We'll be there to be involved in the various types of activities that you have. And also the 2 gentlemen that spoke out here, Constitution of the United States is very unique, and to let everyone know. It allows anyone to come up here to the actual lectern itself, say whether it's true or not, it protects you. We, up here, the elected officials, have no recourse whatsoever. Because if you have documents and so on and so forth, we do offer the opportunity for them to submit it so that we could review them as well. With reference to the actual audit, that was an audit that I believe was taken about 5 years ago, the one he handed me, which had to deal with underfunded liabilities. Am I correct in that area? And you want to cover that real quick?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. And
Mr.
Rose
Yahtzee.
and Sam can answer more questions, but basically, the state of California passed a law which required cities to clean up stormwater, and it was ruled by the courts to be an unfunded mandate. So in that case, the cities were able to apply to the state for reimbursements. So Public Works and Finance applied with everything that we could, trying to get reimbursed for it, and the state went through that, and it was their decision that those were not eligible reimbursements. So we tried to get as much reimbursed as we could, but according to the state guidelines, most of it was disallowed.
All right. Okay, thank you. That's the only thing that I have to report out as well. Marie, before I forget, thank you for coming back. I know you had hip surgery. Yeah, and it's nice to see you back here as well. All right, so at this point, I will go ahead and.
Mayor, I just
yes,
wanted
Councilman
to
Ricardo
make a
Pacheco.
comment. An individual came forward with an article saying that
Right.
I had worked for 2 months or a month and got paid a certain amount of money. The author of that particular article misled the public. I worked there for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. So the way it was written, it appeared that I worked there for 2 months and made this enormous amount of money, but that's inaccurate. Just wanted to bring out that fact. Thank you.
And that also applies, as I mentioned, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. The Constitution is unique, and it allows anyone to come up here and outright fabricate a statement, and we have no recourse. Just want to so that the general public is aware. All right, so at this point, we're going to go over to consent calendar. So we have items 1 through 10. Council members wishing to pull any items? Number 9, okay.
And Mayor and council members, we can answer questions on that, but staff did inform me that we need to pull that off.
Oh, number
as
9?
as the bid fell through, and we'll need to relook at that and bring it back to you. at a
So
later time.
what we'll do at this point, did you want to comment on it anyways?
I just wanted to ask. when
Okay,
we were
then let me do
looking at
this.
getting these.
Let me go ahead and move to pass consent calendar items 1 through, one through 10, with the exception of 9. So that's my motion.
Second.
Second, any objections? See none, so move. Item number 9, which we were just informed by Mr. Yahtzee, our CEO, the replacement of 4 police Dodge Charger, and I believe that bid has fallen. So at this point, Councilmember Alejandra Avila.
So the only reason I pulled it, I was just curious of when we were looking on getting these, but now you're telling me that it's fallen through.
Yeah,
so-
unfortunately, it's going to be a delay, so we're going to have to pull this off, and we're going to go out to the other dealers that may have the vehicles available and bid those and then bring it back to you.
These are leased, am I correct?
I believe these are purchased. Is that correct?
Okay, we're not leased, okay, all right.
Says purchase.
Right, okay.
Pull it off.
So at this point, I'll go ahead and make a motion for number 9. We're going to pull this out. That's my motion. There's second? Seconded by Vice Mayor Monica Garcia. Any objections? Seen, so, okay, so, thank you very much. At this point, we'll go over to the City Council acting as successor agency of the dissolved Community Development Commission consent calendar. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the SA1 successor agency to the dissolved Community Development Commission of the City of Baldwin Park's Treasurer Report, August and September 2019. That is my motion.
Second.
Any Vice Mayor Monica Garcia, seconded. Any objections? Seeing none, so moved. The next one is a public hearing, which is the item number 11, which is the public hearing in consideration of ordinance number 1447, rent stabilization ordinance of the City of Baldwin Park. So we discussed this at the 6 o'clock meeting. Of course, further discussion. At this point, I will open it up for anyone that is in favor, wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance. This is the time to do so. This is the public hearing. Thank you, legal counsel. Mr. Tafoya. Thank you very much. All right.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas. Ok, está bien. Siga hablando.
Mi nombre es Alicia Escalante. Yo tengo 19 años viviendo aquí y solamente para agradecer, estamos muy contentos en nombre de la organización de Ley Boys de esta ordenanza que nos ha parecido a todos que está muy bien. Solamente pues que hay todavía cosas que queremos compartir más con la comunidad, con la que hemos estado pues yendo paso a paso desde el freeze control y pues para que también los abogados de Ley Boys y todos estén de acuerdo para un bien para la comunidad. Muchas gracias a todos.
Gracias, muy amable. All right, at this point, Lulu.
Good afternoon. My name is Alicia Escalante. I have lived here for 19 years and I'm very happy that you have brought this ordinance forward and would like to share more with our community. I would also like for our LA Boys attorneys to review this ordinance further.
All right, thank you very much. All right, this point went on with public hearing. Hello, good evening.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es María Carrillo y soy residente de Baldwin Park. Pues estamos para darles las gracias por todo lo que se ha logrado de esta ordenanza y vemos que tenemos mucha necesidad en esta ciudad, vemos mucha gente desalojada y nos da mucha alegría saber que están trabajando y que van a seguir trabajando en esto. Quiero mencionarles también que cómo van a enterarse los dueños de los apartamentos, de las viviendas, de esta ley, porque tengo entendido o me han hablado que muchos no saben cómo van ellos a saber de esto que ha pasado, porque pues hay ya mucho aumento de renta que se tiene que pagar para este mes de diciembre y los dueños no están enterados de esto. ¿Quién va a tomar en cuenta esto? ¿Es la ciudad? ¿Cómo les van a informar?
Ya que termine, entonces contesto.
Ok, gracias.
All right, thank you. Let me just ask, because have we sent out letters to the owners, to the proprietors of the properties, the apartments?
We did. We sent out about 9,000 notices, including the apartment owners, and distributed those also through the schools and churches.
Okay. Where did she go? She left? Oh, perdón. Ok, sí se mandaron 9,000 letras, is that how you said? Y esto que tengo en nopal en la frente, ¿es? A 9,000 notificaciones y a los dueños de las propiedades. Okay, so what I'm saying right now that 9,000 letters were sent out, which also included the owners of the particular dwelling apartments. Okay, thank you, gracias. All right, so at this point, we'll move on with public communication. Good evening. Good evening, yes.
Thank you. Again, I say thank you, but really we need to, especially the manager who have a really bad attitude with the tenants. Sometimes they feel that they are the owners, but they are not. And they are still give notice days to the families. I can see here the couple who come to us this Monday. They have the 60 days notice days. Okay. So that means by January they need to move. because they give the notice day last week. So we need the managers know about this is our concern always. The owners of the apartment, they don't feel this community belong them and they don't belong this community. Even we are the tenants, we feel more belong this community. We belong more, we have more better feelings for this community because we live here. We buy here. I go to my church here. I go to my shop here. I come to the super. I go to the Vallarta. I put my taxes in this city, even I'm tenant, and I feel more ownership for this community. Is why I'm here when it's need, and also with my community on my friends' residence of Baldwin Park. So I like to have that in considerations, and also encourage you to have one interpretation team or one interpretation. I'm sorry. One interpretation team, because most of our community are Spanish speaker or bilingual, but bilingual like me. I can read, and it's difficult for me to speak better English, that I have the knowledge. But in these matters, especially legal matters, we need to more, I know she made a wonderful job, but she's very professional and maybe other issues, but no interpretation. So I encourage you so to bring some.
Yes.
And thank you. And I strongly support rent freeze.
All right, thank you very much. And I think she brought up a good subject there, and I'll talk about it after at the end. Hey, there's Rooney.
Hi, I'm not sure if it's out of order or whatever. I just have a question about the new apartments. Are they still raising the rent every 6 months? And if so, are they still allowed to say they're low income?
We'll cover that at the end because we're going through the ordinance still. It's still actually in progress, which would address that. But go ahead, Mario. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Mario Maciel, former planning commissioner. I just want to come up here and say thanks for moving forward and really listening to the needs of our community with the rent freeze and also putting together this ordinance. We were working hard on it, and I want to thank you guys, Alejandra, for starting it off and kicking this off, and Paul for putting it together. Thank you. Upon looking at this ordinance, I see a lot of great things that are going to be beneficial to all our residents.
True.
But one thing I would really want to suggest is if you guys would consider it, as a former member of LA Voice, for us to be able to provide you guys with an outside or independent examiner when it comes to hearing exams, if you guys are open to it. I know we suggested if we can create a board or committee that can come to you guys and open up discussions as far as what's going on and what we're hearing, because we have plenty of members that are coming to us and feel comfortable coming to us with exactly what Beatriz was mentioning, 60-day notices, rent increases, and I wish you guys would consider it and hope that you guys are willing to work with us, LA Voice, in that particular area. So once again, thank you guys.
Well,
thank you so much for actually moving forward with this.
Thank you very much. All right, moving along with public. Anyone else? Thank you and support.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Just a couple questions, and I know you can't answer them right now, but maybe at the end.
At the closure.
Yeah. So for the increase, it says a consumer price index. Does that come out at a certain time every year, and will the landlords be notified of that? And what month is that? Just kind of a general question. If the tenant that's there, let's say today, and leaves next month, is the rent that the former tenant, is that kept at the same amount? And it might be in here, I was looking through this, I wasn't sure if that's, or can the landlord increase it more than the consumer price index when there's a change of tenant? And I think those are a couple questions. I know some of the concerns that other cities had with rent control was that you'd have an initial tenant, but that no longer lived there. But because the rent was frozen, other friends or family or acquaintances would be subleased out at that same location. And so I was wondering if there was something in here that I just kind of skimmed over it that would address that or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Evening.
I would like to thank you for passing this law and everything about rent. And I would like to talk about what can we do if, let's say, the landlord is like saying, oh, if you break, like we don't like, let's say, how do I say it? Well, when something breaks, they expect us to pay mostly everything, and I've heard that the landlord is the one that is in charge of fixing stuff. And a few months ago, something broke in our house, and she was charging us excessive amount of money. She was charging us $650 to fix the thing. And she said, if we don't like the rules, that she literally told us in her face, you can get out of this home, and I'll give you a 30-day notice.
Wow.
So I was basically she doesn't care what you think about the property or anything. She doesn't fix anything. She I don't want to cuss, but she doesn't give, and she just like literally wants it. Like if you want something, you have to do it, and you have to pay that excessive amount. And I know a lot of people are single parents and they can't do it, and then viene la cosa y viene el papel y dice, les voy a cobrar este cierto de renta y va subiendo el dinero cada año y muchos no pueden pagar la renta cada año y es mucho dinero y para como mi mamá es soltera y ella no puede pagar tanto dinero, ella es soltera. Así nomás no tengo papá, nomás tengo mamá y ella nomás está pagando renta y la china anda subiendo dinero poco a poco cada año. So es lo que quería decir. Gracias.
Okay. Gracias. Thank you very much. So basically what he's saying, of course, and I'll cover it at the end, indicating the rent, and I guess they were charged $600 for something that broke in the home. How are they protected, and so on and so forth. So we'll cover some of it at the end because it's extensive. So at this point, anyone else?
Just real quick, is that a residential house you live in or an apartment?
Like a duplex?
It's a residential?
Duplex, or has it been subdivided? Apartments. Okay, all right, thank you. We'll get the address regarding that, but at this point, anyone else wishing to speak? And this is in support? Okay, Manuel. Good evening.
Mayor, City Council, my name is Emmanuel Estrada. I'm a resident of Baldwin Park. I support rent control, and I think that the only way rent control is going to work is if we have a strong and affirmative ordinance. I think that this is the right start. I think that there's very strong portions of this rent control, but I worry that certain things are not as tough as they can be. I think the city council is too worried about making everybody happy, which shouldn't be the case when it comes to rent control. I think we should be doing what's right, not what's going to make people happy. As a city that's majority Latino, I think we should be taking care of our own. One thing that worries me is the relocation fees that are too low. We should be looking at the mistakes of other cities like Los Angeles, where we're seeing that they're getting cash for keys, and with low relocation fees, we might be incentivizing landlords to kind of pay out their residents to just get out, and then they're either going to create that place into a luxury or they're just going to tear it down and build something else. So I think that relocation fees should be a lot stronger. I think that they should be used as a deterrent from price gouging. Yeah, so I really hope that you guys can consider that. I also think that there should be a board where there's renters and people of the community that have a say in what goes on and what gets approved when it comes to major updates in these units. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, if not at this point, I will take those that are opposed, rent control. See no interest, and I'll declare the public hearing closed. Let me just first start out with one. Know that 9,000 letters were sent out Now, how do we know, or do we say certified that the actual owners of these particular, that's what I'm kind of curious, because Patrice brought up something interesting. I mean, maybe it goes to the manager, but never gets to the owners.
So the letters were sent out, according to the LA County Assessor's information, would go to the same address that a person's tax bill would go to. So that is either, that's the responsible party that the owner designates to receive the tax bill.
Okay, and then I have a couple of more. There was someone that Patrice mentioned, they have their 60 days, so January obviously would be when they would have to vacate the premise itself. And I know that Alejandra introduced the freeze, rent control freeze, and of course the adoption of Councilmember Paul Hernandez are going through this process. So there's nothing that we can do until such time that this is, or what recourse. I mean, I know what I've recommended in the past, just stay there until they take you to court.
Yes, the urgency ordinance that was passed includes not only a rent freeze, but a just cause eviction.
Oh.
So that's in place
Okay,
today.
all righty.
You have that in place in the city of Baldwin Park to protect your residents.
So let me, thank you, legal, are they here tonight, Beatriz? Are they here? Okay, okay, too bad they're not here. Okay, so then thank you for that. So the actual, huh? But they're not here. You know what?
We can have Beatriz.
Yeah, Beatriz, if you could get a hold of, have them speak to Ben so that Ben could let them know that they are protected now, okay, from that actual eviction. So that's great news, okay? The next one I wanted to also cover, our CEO, which is the price, consumer price index. So that's on a monthly basis, right?
That is, yes, that's correct. That's published monthly, and there's an LA County.
Because I know that was brought up, so they're kind of concerned in that area, but, all right. Also, and again, I hear Manuel referencing the relocation that's a little too low, but I think that, I personally think that what we have here is good and will protect a lot of the renters in the city of Baldwin Park. We obviously will grow from this part, but this is a start for us to at least implement something now so that we're able to be the example in the San Gabriel Valley of a city that has literally taken its time. Alejandra Avila with the rent freeze, and then also Councilmember Paul Hernandez got into the integral part of it and the paperwork and so on and so forth of this policy. And of course, in support of all the council members, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco, Vice Mayor Monica Garcia, and all of us together. And this is a start for us, but it's a way to be able to protect the residents of the city of Baldwin Park. And we obviously know that everyone has differences of opinion, and that there's no way that we ourselves are going to make everyone happy. And everyone knows that there's no possible way. That's just the reality of life and the humanity that we deal with on an everyday basis. So I just want to share that at this point. So at this point, council members have any questions? Yes, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank the attorney, done a good job in putting this together. Putting together all this ordinance. I know it was done very quickly, but he pulled it off. One question that I have, though, is on section 129.01 under definitions, item A, and I just need some clarification on it. It says control rental units, all residential units in the city of Baldwin Park built prior to January 1st, 1995, except mobile home spaces, duplexes, trailers, trailer spaces, condominiums, single-family homes, and those units found by the city to be exempt under one or more of the following provisions. And those provisions are things like hotels and hospitals and that, and I understand that 1 through 4 is okay with me. But on the sentence that it reads, you're saying all residential homes, and then you're turning around saying except mobile homes, with duplexes, I mean, condominiums. So we're just talking about just apartments. If you have a single-family home, it's not under rent control, and so what's to prevent the owner of raising that? I mean, any clarification on that? So Ben, can you kind of maybe address that issue and tell me are we just talking about apartment units only? Why are we excluding single-family homes? Last time, at our last council meeting, we said we would exclude single-family homes that were built after 1995, but now we're saying all single-family homes, and I just think that's, If you could explain that to me, I don't think that's just for those that are in single-family homes, trailers or mobile homes. I think it should apply to all of them. I'm not sure why we're changing that part of it, but if you could, Ben, address that.
So Ben or the attorney may expand on this, but I believe what we did is we went back and listened to the motion that was made, and we patterned this after the motion that was made on the floor at the time of the last meeting.
Okay, does this have anything to do with a Hawkins law or any other type of law? This was just based on a motion that was made at the last meeting?
Correct.
All right, so if we wanted to include all these homes under rent control, we could do that. There would be nothing prohibiting us from doing such?
That may be a question for the attorney. It may be that you could only regulate single-family homes pre-1995, Mr. Tafoya?
Which is what we're asking.
That is correct. You could include single-family homes pre-1995. You cannot include single-family homes post-1995.
Would that include duplexes?
You could also include duplexes if you wanted.
But do they fall under that rule of prior 1995?
Duplexes would not fall under that rule. Only single-family homes fall under that rule.
What about mobile home spaces?
Mobile homes would not fall under that rule.
Condominiums?
No.
All right, thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Alondra Avila.
So just to clarify something, Mr. Pacheco, speaking to public housing, I understand why mobile homes it would be a lot harder to put mobile homes under this. They explained to me that it is a lot more complicated because in mobile homes, sometimes they own the property there or they're renting. It's just very, very complicated. She even said it's a long process. So legal counsel did not recommend mobile homes. However, they did recommend single-family homes. Ben, do you have any idea how many single-family homes we have for rent in the city of Baldwin Park? I don't remember. I know you showed it, but I remember. Because I honestly, I love the rent control ordinance, of course, because I spoke about it many months ago and we continued and finally we came all to an agreement. And now that we're here, I'll get, as long as it's not breaking any state law, I don't see a reason why we should not include single-family homes. As long as we're within the law, we should protect those. I've known people that have been evicted from single-family homes because they decide to raise the rent ridiculously. They don't get evicted, they just have to move out because they can't afford it. So it's a good idea, unless you can give me a really good reason that we should not include those single-family homes, then I'd agree. But that I'm for the rent control, I definitely are, and Paul knows that, we were all in agreement. I just don't understand the reasoning behind the single-family homes. I think those people that live in these homes also need to be protected because they may be left out of their homes because the owners now know that they're untouchable. And that's concerning to me, so I don't understand the reasoning behind that.
Here, I put up on the screen, back up on the screen, the amount of, approximately the amount of renter-occupied single-family dwellings. So that would be the first two numbers there. 40, even I can't read it from here, but 49.
4,937?
Yeah, so it's about 57.
So those are rentals?
Those would be single-family rental properties.
And Ben,
That's a lot of rentals.
Sorry. And Ben, the ratio of owner-occupied in the city, did you have that number? Because I know that's what we use to derive this.
Yeah, I don't have
about
that.
68%, I think.
So, you said it's the first two lines, so 4,937 and 704. That's 5,000 something homes out there, residents that are students, babies, children, mothers, grandparents, veterans, that can possibly have to leave their home and maybe become homeless if they rent the rates so high that they can't afford it. That's very concerning. Again, I don't understand the reasoning. I mean, we're already doing the rent control, and we're following all state guidelines. Why don't we just add the single-family homes? I don't understand. Explain,
It's
please.
just a, council member, it's just a policy decision
Yeah,
at this
that's a
point.
policy
They're-
decision of the city council, and, you know,
Oh.
staff
So,
is just here
okay,
to give
so-
you the data.
Yeah, that,
So as council then, sorry, Ben, so why? I don't understand why we can't just include single-family homes. That's a lot of families. Let's say 3 people per household, and that's probably not even accurate. It's more than 3 people per household. How many people can you really imagine if, let's say, half of that population gets displaced because they cannot afford the rent increase? Very concerning to me. Oh, anybody?
Mayor?
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
If I could, I don't know if council would remove those as exemptions, condominiums, single-family homes, and duplexes. You know, and then we just move forward.
We're already, it's great what we're doing, and I just
I mean,
feel.
it's just something I noticed that I think we might improve upon this ordinance by changing these
You're
3
doing an
items
awesome job. Let's,
to, you know, to include those resident, I mean, I'd hate to see a single-family home get a huge, you know, increase in their rent, and then during the Christmas season get moved out or something. You know, I'm a father, I have, you know, me and my wife, and I have 2 kids, a son, and I know what it would feel like if they just, you know, I'm in a home and all of a sudden they're raising the rent $500, and that's common. I mean, I've had parents complain to me about their rent literally in condominiums going up like $500 when you're, I mean, you can be a hairdresser and maybe the father's a mechanic making $30,000 a year each, $60,000. That's a big hit on your income. So I would, I don't know, just asking council if you guys would reconsider removing those as exemptions and including those to be in the rent control.
yeah, let's keep in mind, they're still going to be able to increase the rent as stated in the rent control. It's not like we're stopping them from ever increasing the rent. We understand that they have to increase the rent based on how our economy is going. But this, leaving it open like this, it just leaves them the flexibility to do whatever they want, when they want, as many times as they want during the year. And it's a little scary to me to see more families displaced than need be.
Yeah, let me just also remind the council that Proposition 10 failed, which would have been appealed, the contra Hawkins, and that's important for us to know in the city of Baldwin. I personally think that this is a good start for us. It may not be perfect, but I think that we're going to make the front page of other cities in the San Gabriel Valley. My biggest concern right now is the fact that we have two different items that were introduced, which again is rent control freeze, and then also the introduction of an actual ordinance in itself. And I'm ready to make a motion at this point. So unless someone has anything else they wish to say or share.
Yes, if I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you again. As I've stated, time after time, this is a living document. So I certainly appreciate the comments of my colleagues on the other side of the horseshoe here. What I would recommend is, and I'll make a motion in this, is for us, because again, one of the things I've mentioned is this is not the end of what we're doing with this document or with this ordinance. This is something that I suspect that over time we will go back and review things and add or change or modify based on what city staff is saying that they're seeing and interpreting through the ordinance that's happening. Right now, we don't have any of that information. We don't know because we're not doing anything right now in the sense of helping or assisting the residents of our city. So with that, what I would like to do is make just one minor amendment to the ordinance, and that would be to strike section 129-14, and that's the section called pass-through surcharge for capital improvements. I think we can certainly look at that at a later time to perhaps maybe put some caps around that. so that way the residents understand, and more importantly, the property owners understand, how much they could invest into their property that would be shared across with the folks. So that's something that we could look at a much later time. It's not necessarily, I still think it's a very important component because, again, no one has shared with me and no other city is necessarily has seen a way to really incentivize property owners to invest in their property when they have something that's dilapidated. And we've gone to these locations. We know people that live in these locations, so we certainly want to help with that. So with that said, as stated, I'd like to make a motion.
Mayor, I have one more
Excuse me?
comment.
Hold on,
before-
I'm sorry,
motion,
ma'am.
motion,
I'm
motion.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the ordinance minus section 129-14, which is a passive surcharge for capital improvements. And that is my motion.
Oh, go
I'd like
ahead,
to make
second.
a substitute motion.
Okay, substitute, at this point, motion, I second it, substitute motion, go ahead.
Again, I just want to be very, very clear on this. I am definitely for the ordinance for the rent control. Again, I'm very concerned. Those homes built before 1995, most of the homes have already been paid off, so any capital the owners are making, it's in their pocket by now. And that's great. We all want to make money. We all want to invest. That's wonderful. I agree with that. However, they're not going to be losing any money by us, and I understand it's a living document and it can be changed. However, at this point, these owners know that we are doing a rent control, and now that we can change this document, now they feel free that they can just up the rent all of a sudden, because now they're afraid that we may find out that we do need to change this ordinance to include homes. So again, we're leaving a big liability for these owners to bring the rent. Lo que estoy diciendo es que la mayoría de los dueños que tienen casa construidas antes de 1995, para esta fecha estas casas ya casi son pagadas. Y todo lo que ganan de rentas, ello es dinero para ellos, para su bolsillo. Y claro, es muy bueno que tengamos inversiones y que tengamos casas para rentar. Esa es la vida ideal, poder tener dinero extra. Pero esas casas ya casi son pagadas. Lo que me preocupa a mí es que ahora estos dueños se dan cuenta de que este documento ya está aquí enfrente de nosotros y claro que lo podemos cambiar, podemos hacer cambios cuando necesitamos, pero ellos saben que tenemos esta ordenanza y como saben que se puede cambiar de un de repente a decir que vamos a poner las casas también, ellos pueden subir la renta de un de repente a ustedes porque ellos ahorita están protegidos. Por eso yo estoy pidiendo que pasemos esta ordenanza, pero que agreguemos esas casas que están construidas antes de 1995. No estoy contra esto. Yo soy la primera que apoyé esta ordenanza, pero quiero que seamos justos y asegurar de que más familias, más de 5,000 familias o la mitad de esta cantidad no sean despojadas de sus casas. And that is my motion, Mayor.
All right, so, okay, so at this point, there's a substitute motion, is there a second?
I second.
Okay, second by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. At this point, I will ask
Well, Mayor,
the city.
I just want clarification
Go
here.
ahead.
So your substitute motion is to exclude condominiums, single families, homes, and duplexes as an exemption from
Just
rent control?
to add single-family homes.
Just single-family homes?
Yes, nothing else.
Fine.
Can I clarify that to make sure that we're correct on the language? So what you're saying is section 129.01 will now read, all residential rental units in the city of Baldwin Park built prior to January 1, 1995, except mobile home spaces, duplexes, trailers, and trailer spaces and condominiums, and those units found by the city to be exempt under one or more of the following provisions.
Okay, I would second that motion.
Okay, so there's second, do we have the motion to ready, so at this point?
There was an initial motion by Councilman
No, Councilman,
Paul
no,
Hernandez.
there was a substitute motion by, well, the first one was Councilmember Paul Hernandez made the motion, I seconded. There was a substitute by Councilmember Alejandra Avila, so that supersedes the previous motion. It was seconded by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. So at this point, we'll take a vote on the substitute motion presented by Councilmember Alejandra Avila. So at this point, Madam City Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia,
No.
Mayor Lozano.
No. Okay, so the motion fails 2-3. So at this point, I believe are you want to reintroduce your motion or legal counsel?
The motion still stands.
Okay, still, I second it. So at this point,
One second.
yes,
sir.
go ahead.
With one, just modification, instead of removing, we want to call intentionally blank. Is that what it is, legal counsel?
That is correct. I understood your motion to be section 129.14, and you're going to remove that section, and it's going to say now intentionally blank in all caps. Is that?
Correct, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so at this point, Madam City Clerk, Gina Ayala?
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
I just want to clarify, I will vote yes, only because I don't want this rent control not to pass. However, I want it on the record to state that I do not agree with the fact that the homes are not being included in this rent control.
All right, so at this point, that's for the record. So at this point, we'll go ahead and Madam City Clerk, Ms. Gina M. Ayala, will go into the vote. Thank you.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco,
Again, I want to clarify that I'm for rent control. I think it's needed, but I think we're doing a disservice to our community by not including single-family homes. That's 5,000 homes that are going to get a rent increase. And I think that's not good judgment on the council. We've brought it up enough, and I'm not clear why my council colleagues, if they say they're for rent control, don't want to protect these single-family homes. So I would vote no.
Really quick, do any of us own property, single-family homes here? Anybody up in the dais?
Yes, I
And
do.
we shouldn't be voting.
Excuse me? You can't do that. That's illegal.
Is it a conflict of
That's
interest?
illegal. Alejandra, that's illegal.
I'm
How can-
asking, is it a conflict of interest?
Hold on,
You
hold on,
own
hold on, hold on.
rental
hold on.
property that
Hold on,
affects
hold on.
this.
I understand.
I'm asking the
No,
attorney.
that is definitely not illegal.
Attorney,
Legal
I'm
counsel?
asking you. I want to ask out loud, so it's
It's
okay.
okay.
I did look at this very briefly, and based on the ethics presentation that I gave, there is an exception to potential conflicts. So even though a member of the council may benefit from this particular ordinance, as long as that benefit is received by everyone in the city, then it does not create a legal conflict.
Okay, thank you for the
Because
clearing.
that benefit regarding this ordinance benefits everyone in the city and not just the people on the dais, there's not a legal conflict.
Okay, just wanted to clarify
And I
that.
just want to let you know, I was at a conference in Pasadena, and that was brought up the same way we're discussing it here.
Okay.
All right, so thank you, Councilmember
had
Alejandra.
it.
Yeah, you were right.
Mayor.
You were right.
Mayor,
You were
I
right.
had to
Continue with
ask.
the vote,
Está bien, está
please.
bien. All right, hold
Continue
on.
with the
Sorry
vote.
about that. Vice-
Transparency.
I know. Wait, hold on. Vice Mayor, thank you very much. At this point, we'll go back to roll call. Thank you.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Lozano,
Yes. All right, so at this point, the motion passes 5-0 with the, oh, you voted?
Four.
You voted?
4-0.
Voted no? Okay,
4-1.
so 4-0.
4-1.
4-1, excuse me. So
4-1.
thank you, and I want to congratulate each and every one of you out there. You know, just a reminder also that we have to also be mindful. This city has 75,000 residents, and there's a lot of them that have been in Baldwin Park, and I've been here since 1979, and there's Marie, probably way more than that, 50, Jean, 51 years, and so on and so forth. So a lot of them have made Baldwin Park their home, and they purchased a home. They had that opportunity to purchase a home. I, as mayor, have no right to deny the homeowners of this city to place something on them unless it's taken to the voters to the poll. Then that's different. The transparency has to be there. Proposition 10 was voted down in the city of Baldwin Park. Now, without all due respect, this right here is the beginning of assisting each and every one of you. And to give you a good example, the lady that's 89 years old that I met during the summer who told me thought rent control was already in, said that I live on fixed income, so you're going to change the way I live now? And she went into a major panic. She was still charging for her little duplexes $800, and she thought it was too high, but she's had these people in those units for the past 30 years and whatever. So it's important for us to also recognize the transparency of home ownership and renters together combined. And I think tonight is a perfect example, and I just want to let everyone know that. So at this point, I want to congratulate. Congratulate everyone that participated, Alejandra Avila, Councilmember Paul Hernandez, Vice Mayor Monica Garcia, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco, and myself, and all the individuals that put this whole program together. And again, I think that this is a start, and I know it's probably going to be something spread out through the San Gabriel Valley of what the City of Baldwin Park did here tonight. Okay.
Mayor, just real quick, I want to thank all those that participated in the audience. I know there was a lot of people that came out and had an opinion about this, and I'm glad that all of you came out. All the council members did a great job putting, their information that they wanted to make this ordinance happen. Staff did a lot of work to really put this together very quickly. But again, you're on full rent control, but I can't leave out and exclude the residents. I think my opinion differs in that of the mayor with respect, but I think we should include all the residents, those of you that have a home or renting a residence, you're not protected. And that's the issue that I have with, but you can call your council members because there's this ordinance has to have another vote. And at the second time around, maybe, if minds change, I'd be more in favor of it. And maybe council members would also like to include all the residential homes that are out there. Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, nonetheless, thank you very much for all that.
Thank you. Yes.
If I may, haven't
Hold on,
spoken
Vice
at
Mayor
all.
Monica
Thank you.
Garcia.
I just want to say that, this is actually something positive, and I don't want to see something positive, become negative. I think that, we have wanted to address some of the housing shortages and challenges in our community, and this is one way to do that. And I think it was thoughtful, but it's also giving the city an opportunity to adjust to this new ordinance. And so we're also going to be, kind of gauging like the enforcement issues and the compliance issues. And, so I feel very comfortable that by taking this first step, it's a step in the right direction, and it's going to give protection for many of, those of you who are in the audience and people in our community. But it's also going to give us, the city, time to adjust to this. And so should we revisit this in the future and consider, expanding on that, I think we'll be better positioned to do that because of the vote that we took here tonight. So just wanted to say, let's stay positive on this and just move in the right direction. So thank you to all of you for coming out and speaking. And, it is a balancing act for us. We do want to be responsive to the different stakeholders in our community. And I think tonight we have been responsive to, a population that has needed those protections. So kudos.
Mayor, if I may?
Okay, yes.
I just want to say this in Spanish for the public. Primero quiero agradecer a LA Voice y todo, everyone in. Todos, ya tengo más de 8 meses que estamos trabajando juntos en esto. Y recuerdo la primera vez cuando trajimos el tema, LA Voice ya había venido muchas veces a hablar sobre esto, y cuando yo lo dije de primera vez, que me dijeron, esto no se puede hacer, es imposible. Y por supuesto yo luego me comuniqué con el attorney y le dije, sí se puede hacer, sí se puede hacer. Entonces luego él empezó un rent control, me empezó a hacer el documento y lo puse en una agenda. Pero cuando ya estaba en el proceso el documento, le dije al attorney, sabes que hay que hacer el rent freeze primero, porque si no nos vamos a meter en problemas, les van a subir la renta. Entonces, para ello, ese proceso, el attorney continuó el rent freeze y lo presentamos y pasó. Y en ese tiempo, Paul continuó con el proceso que yo ya había comenzado, y el attorney le ayudó. Le quiero agradecer mucho al attorney porque él ha sido muy efectivo en la proposición que puso Paul y yo, porque todos los documentos muchas de las cosas que yo ya había puesto, también Paul ya las tenían, así que great minds think alike, Paul. Pero muchas gracias al personal, porque ellos han trabajado muy duro. Nosotros ponemos y proponemos cosas aquí, y en realidad el personal es que hace los estudios y el trabajo, y nosotros les damos información de aquí y allá LA Voice me trajo a mí mucha información, everyone en también, los abogados con los que hablamos. Es un proceso muy largo y se necesita mucho estudio para poner una ordenanza así para asegurar de que esté bien. Estoy muy contenta de que sí tengamos un rent control, nomás me gustaría haber visto unos cambios más efectivos inmediatamente, pero mientras tanto vamos a seguir adelante. Gracias al attorney, gracias al personal, LA Voice, a everyone in y todas las personas que han venido aquí a hablar, y gracias a todos los miembros del council que han estado aquí para ayudarnos. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Thank you. All right, this point we're going to, City Attorney, I think you wanted to clarify something.
Yes,
Thank
Mayor, I
you.
want to make sure the record is clear regarding Councilmember Hernandez's motion because it's so important. His motion was to introduce for first reading by title only ordinance number 1447 entitled an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Baldwin Park, adding Chapter 11, Section 129, along with the changes that he made. And I just want to make sure the record was clear about that.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. At this point, I'm going to go open up the public hearing, which is a request to the City Council from the Planning Commission to approve the development agreement 19-03 to grant a cannabis permit for the new cannabis cultivation and manufacturing facility within the IC Industrial Commercial Zone pursuant to Ordinance 1408, location 15440, 15442, and 15444 Arrow Highway. Applicant Alacarting LLC, case number DA 1903. So at this point, I'll open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposing? Okay. If not, I'm going to go ahead and move for an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Baldwin Park to enter into a development agreement with the Alacart Group LLC for the cultivation and or manufacturing of cannabis at the real property located at 15440, 15442, and 15544, APN 8413-001-030 within the City of Baldwin Park. That is my motion. Second. Second by who? By Councilmember, Paul Hernandez. Any objections? Seeing none, so moved. All right, the next two I want to move over for December. In December, we will make our actual decisions. I'll move to place items 13 and 14 for the December meeting. That's my motion. Second. Second, any objections? Seeing none, so moved. All righty, at this point, I will move for adjournment of the City Council. That is my motion. Second. Any objections? Seeing none, so no. At this point, we're going to open up the Housing Department, but before I do that, I want to read off this is an order announced as required by Government Code Section 54952.3. Members of the City Council are also members of the Board of Directors and the Housing Authority, Finance Authority, which are concurrently convening with the City Council this evening, and each council member is paid additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting and $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. So at this point, I forgot to put this as concurrent, so I'll open up the public communication. Anyone wishing to speak on this subject? See no interest, and I'll declare the Housing Authority closed. At this point, I'll move for consent calendars items 1 and 2. That is my motion. Hello? Oh, okay. Seconded by Councilmember Paul Hernandez. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. At this point, I'd like to move for adjournment of the Housing Department, Housing Authority. Second. Second by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. All right, this one I forgot to also open, so I'll open up the Finance Authority. At this point, anyone wishing to speak on this item? See no interest, and I'll declare it closed. At this point, I'd like to move for consent calendars items 1, Treasurer Report. I'll move for, that's my motion. Second. Second by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. At this point,
Really quick, can I say something? I wanted to welcome Marie back.
well, I welcomed her. You didn't hear me?
No, I didn't, and I turned
Was
around
Alejandra
and
here?
I think I was in the back. Marie, we missed you. Welcome back.
No.
Welcome back home, Marie. You're an awesome person. Got to speak to your husband on his Argentina and Chile trip. Okay, next time. All right, so at this point, I'd like to move for adjournment of the Finance Authority. That is my motion. Second by Councilmember Paul Hernandez. Any objection? Seeing none, so move. Good evening, Viva Baldwin Park. Okay, Mr. Ross, we got to get that cleaned up, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, before I forget,
Yes.
Lulu Morales, you were awesome, by the way. So I know the individuals have differences of opinion, but you're the best. Thank you.